Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you found us here on YouTube as we build this community of Post Narcissists. Be sure to click the subscribe button. If we can get more subscribers, it'll help with the YouTube's algorithm to help us reach more people that need our support. From the things that go on with narcissism abuse, and the relationship. So that would really help. I keep forgetting to mention that in my other videos. Today I want to talk about what got us here in the first place. And it's something that happened to all of us. And that was the love bombing. You try to tell other people about love bombing. Most people have never been through anything like it. Even if they're in other relationships and they're in love with someone and married and things like that, I think that love bombing from a narcissist has just a different flavor to it that sets it apart. And it's very hard to hone in on all the reasons why it's different. But I'll try to explain what happened to me, and hopefully there are people out there that can relate. And if you do, just put it in the comments, because I think every narcissist relationship has a little bit of difference in it, and I think it would help others if we all share a little bit of our stories. So, love bombing. If you never have been with a narcissist before and you don't even know that their behaviors and patterns and their undercarriage of what their workings are and who they are, you're not going to be ready for it. And resistance is futile, really, when you're dealing with a narcissist that has zeroed in on you as an empath and a source of fuel for them. So, I remember after my first date with my narc, we never spent not one night apart after that. Like, the most time that we spent apart was probably about, maybe 12 hours. So after that first date, I would sleep at his apartment or his condo with him every single night. And when I told people about, I'm in love and I met this guy, and even when we were together for like 2 years, we hadn't spent one night apart. Not one. And I thought, of course, that was because he's my soulmate, right? And I remember actually the very first night we spent apart, it was, I don't even know, we might have been married already, or right before our marriage. Well, he was getting sued in federal court, and he had to fly to LA because that's where the suit was filed, to defend himself in federal court from being sued. And I'm not allowed to discuss the case at all, even legally. So, but yeah, you can't be that surprised, that narcissists find themselves in those situations anyway. So I digress. So that was the first time that we were ever apart. And looking back on the love bombing stage of the relationship, it's not really supposed to go that way, because we were different people. I came from really just a meat-eating, gun-toting American family, and he was this vegan, that like 15-year vegan that did yoga and stuff. And I of course was into health and everything like that, but it was not like this perfect harmonious match, but he made it that way, right? Like, he mirrored me so perfectly to the point where we never had not one argument for like a year. he would spend every last dollar on me. It was nothing but a systematic line of, whether it be dinners, nice things he said to me, trips that we would take together, the showering of like love, of that I'm just like a perfect human to him. And where have I been in all his life? And he talks about how every single thing that happened to him led him to me, and now he's like home, and he, like it's the most unbelievable, confessions of love every day. And it's not a smothering love, because they perfectly match what you are delivering as well, right? So if you have someone doing things like that to someone who, almost is guarded, well, then they'll be guarded just enough to keep you drawn in through the love bombing stage in order to keep things moving perfectly forward. So the love bombing is not this, even though that's what happened to me, and I gladly accepted it. The love bombing is not just the smothering of flowers and chocolates and love and trips and things like that. It is the perfect mirror of you, and then craftily sculpted to have you roped in deeper and deeper into them, right? So if you need a time away, because that makes sense to like go out with your girlfriends or do something on your own, they're going to support you on that and almost be a little bit standoffish, to the point where you all of a sudden don't even have a good time with your girlfriends, and all you want to do is go back to them. Like they're that good with what they do when they love bomb you. And it's very systematic about how you will feel like you have something so special and so one of a kind with them that there's just nothing else. And the thing is, you get almost addicted to the way they're making you feel, and the fact that they love your imperfections so much, almost more than your biggest asset, things like that, So you get so roped in to falling in love with someone who's so perfectly matched, but it's a false match. Okay, they don't really have the same strengths and strong thoughts about every topic that you've talked about. They're mirroring you in order to get you fall deeper in love with them and make it seem like it's that much more perfect, right? And things get really tight-nipped with your relationship. You'll look back on it and you're like, yeah, that moved a little too fast. Why did I let that go so fast? And God, we moved in together really fast. But the reason you did that is because you thought you found your soulmate, right? But you fell in love with yourself a little bit, and to all of a sudden love your faults for the first time because they are doing that to you, it puts you in a different place. And because the love bombing is so intense and so unique compared to any other relationship you've had, that's the reason why the discard is so painful, because you found out it was fake, and that's why, I've heard a lot of times, people breaking up, and I didn't really understand, all those songs on the radio about broken hearts and things like that. Well, they sure started making sense during my discard, and I was just, he captured me, I was such a good fuel source for him. I had done everything he wanted to do, including quitting my job so I can dedicate myself to him full time. He wanted a full-time videographer for his YouTube videos, and told me how great it was going to be, and how much much success we were going to have, and with all the other parts of our business. And I quit my job fairly early on for him. But lo and behold, yes, when he discarded me, he took those channels with him, and I don't have access to them anymore. So I'm starting my own YouTube channels, but I'm keeping this one. Anonymous. So if anyone recognizes my voice, please don't type my name in the comments, because this is basically the only way I can do this, is to stay anonymous on this channel. But I'm hoping we can still build a community even though I'm staying anonymous, because I might come out with some pretty damning events that happened between my relationship and him. So, but I started this channel because I am having a hard time finding my tribe in my my community here, just because there's not a narcissist abuse victim in my circle of family and friends. It's becoming more and more common, but it's getting harder to find a tribe of us that we can come together and write comments and share our stories, and kind of help each other, that it's going to get better. Don't a lot of us think like we start to have those feelings like no one's gonna love me like that again, no one's gonna do all those things for me again. But the thing is, you don't want to fall in love with that again. You don't want to fall in love with those same actions, because it wasn't a real person, it was yourself. All of those things that those trips you take, those are trips that you wanted to take. He delivered. All those things he did were he was completely reading you every moment to see what you wanted, and he would deliver it. So of course it seemed so perfect, but it wasn't real. It was a methodical plan to tap into your fuel source and open up the floodgates and let it flow into him. And he had to put in some work at the beginning to make that happen. And that's what the love bombing was, right? But as soon as that fuel started drying out, that's when the discarding happened, the devaluing one, and him starting to, okay, this well's going to run dry soon. I better start looking for a new well and start digging, working on something else, because that's all they care about. That's all they did care about, but that love bombing, it's so intense, and that's what makes the discard and the breakup so intense, and I didn't know how long it would take to kind of get over that. And of course I scoured the internet, and I remember seeing this one, it's going to take half the life of the relationship itself until you're fully over them when you have something like this happen to you. So I'm like, oh, well, crap. So we were together for 7 years, so I've got 3.5 years, so I got another year or so until I think I can say I'm fully over it, everything that happened. So that's why I started this channel. I'm not unique in things that are happened, but I'm also, our tribe can be hard to find. And thank you guys for listening to me. Again, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It'll help us, and leave a comment so other people can read them and get a different take on their love bombing and why it was different, as we all move forward to heal post narcissist.